On the news tonight, cotton and textiles revitalization program to generate 7 billion naira, says federal government. Ogun governor proposes naval base in Ogun State. Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nta Ijebu Ode News at 7. I am Olawumi Adeniji and here are the details. The federal government is looking at the possibility of generating 7 billion naira through the cotton, textile and garments revitalization program. Musa Babali reports that more than 500,000 hectares will be made available for the cultivation of cotton under the initiative.
The federal government is making efforts towards reviving the moribund textile manufacturing industry in Nigeria. Discussion towards achieving the feat is underway between key players in the industry and government representatives. During the discussion, it was discovered that raw materials, especially cotton, are critical in the revival initiative. The target is to put 500,000 hectares under cultivation.
If we do that, we are going to create 1.4 million jobs. We are going to have revenue, FS revenue of between $7.2 billion to $8.2 billion.
And this is the reason for this engagement with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
Why did our farmers move away from cotton production to other staples or other crops? There must be a reason, and I think we need to look into those areas and see why were those reasons.
The International Cotton Advisory Committee is set to assist with good agronomic practices in the cultivation of cotton.
To renew the hope of cotton farmers in Nigeria will be a very, very big and welcome relief. And we all know the entire value chain creates a very large number of jobs.
More than 1.4 million jobs are expected to be created from cotton cultivation, ginning, textile manufacturing, and garment production. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The issues around domestic workers and their employers is calling for concern, especially with the increase in crime and abuse. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are applauding the Domestic Workers and Employers Bill as key to sanitizing the informal recruitment of domestic workers to protect both domestic workers and employees in line with global best practices. Lydia Samson, Asma.
The creation of a national information accredited recruitment will unlock enormous opportunities for the proposed Domestic Workers Bill. Senator Babangida Hussaini, sponsor of the bill, believes this will be made possible with a legal framework.
We have reported cases of sexual abuse, physical abuse, no regulation or any legal framework to protect this category of workers. So in total sum, these are the issues that germinated to the development of the bill.
So we do receive a lot of complaints, regarding children being molested in homes, children being molested sexually, children being tortured, even some to death. We've had some.
Other guests are on the same page that capturing of biometrics and records of domestic workers will go a long way in curbing violence and criminal tendencies from domestic workers. In the same vein, employers, knowing the full intent of a legal framework, will be cautious not to also molest and torture their domestic workers or employ children below 18 years.
It's important that you do not take chances. The decisions you make could be your lifesaver. But people make these critical decisions without any intentionality. They just think it's a minor thing, and it has cost lives.
They are optimistic that with more prosecution and punishment of persons culpable, the domestic workers-employees relationship might be for a win-win operation. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at an interactive session with owners of some private broadcast media outfits in Nigeria, believe that now is the right time for media practitioners to reassess their activities of promoting professionalism and national cohesion. This was when the minister led the presidential media team to an advocacy visit held in Lagos. Saliu Guanara reports.
To these related media owners, the minister and his team are indeed august visitors in the month of August. This is in furtherance of the presidential media team's advocacy visit to critical stakeholders, particularly those in the media industry. Lessons from the recent nationwide End Bad Governance protest and the role of the private broadcast media dominated discussions.
We also know that even as you do this task of holding government to account, which is your constitutional role that you are playing, we have to have a Nigeria before we can have a functional Nigerian media. It is incumbent on us to ensure that media is in the forefront of promoting unity, conserving our collective existence, and ensuring that all of us stay in peace.
At Arise, we believe and agree that subsidy must be removed and agree that there should be a market-driven exchange rate, but not at the same time.
We will make sure that job is done with a lot of responsibility. We will make sure that we're also partners in progress with government. I've often told people who care to ask me that I don't belong to a political party.
Where I feel that a lot of focus should be on, and I feel this is also going to benefit media houses like us, is a regulation of some sort on all these other forms of media. These are the areas these people go to cause to wreak this havoc. That's where the insightful things come out from. They pick a very small video or very little information they have found and twist and twist and twist it.
The government image maker reaffirmed policies on local government autonomy and in critical sectors such as agriculture, health, security, and education, which are efforts towards building a strong foundation for socio-economic prosperity, particularly for the youth.
If people are asking, what has the federal government done with their money? Which is a very legitimate question to ask. People should also ask why the state governments are also doing theirs. Because all of us together make what we call the Nigerian Federation.
The team crisscrossed the head offices of Arise Television, Channels Television, and Television Continental TVC in Lagos. Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The civil service has changed for the better, and civil servants are now more confident while working with dignity. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, said this at a meeting with joint unions in the office to celebrate her as she leaves. Aman Jabani has more.
As the head of the Civil of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, plans for her retirement this month, joint unions in the office took time to celebrate her service to the nation in the last 5 years. They say the outgoing head of service has changed the face of Nigeria's civil service and made it effective and efficient in service delivery as well as goal-oriented. Honoring her won't be out of place. The chairman of the joint union who went memory lane described the reforms in the civil service initiated and implemented by Folashade Yemi Eson as ones that are important to the welfare and enhancement of skills of civil servants.
We want to commend her for looking at it, the FC 2021 to 2025, as a Bible of the service, and she followed it diligently. And you attest that it has given the service direction, purpose, and dignity. It is not only for us to look at the policy she has implemented, we are also looking at the welfare aspect of it.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, commended the unions for their support over the years and urged them to do more for the incoming head of service while standing on the principles of accountability, loyalty, and efficiency.
I thank God that the dignity with which civil servants work is much better than before. Character is being built now among civil servants. we need to be able to lift our heads high up and be proud that we're civil servants.
And I think it speaks volumes of the relationship, of the partnership, of the collaboration that the head of civil service of the Federation has brought to bear, not only in this office, but all through the service.
The head of the civil service used the opportunity to present 2 coaster buses to the joint union and cars to 6 directors. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has called on the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, at the Naval Headquarters Abuja to discuss a proposed naval base in the state, highlighting the state's strategic location bordering Lagos, Oyo, Ondo, and the Atlantic Ocean, as well as its proximity to Benin Republic. Governor Abiodun says this positions Ogun as an ideal location for a naval base. The governor also expressed his desire to further strengthen ties with the Nigerian Navy in the areas of maritime security in vulnerable coastal communities, enhancing economic activities through private-public partnerships and individual prosperity initiatives. Presenting the title document of 100 hectares of land for the proposed base to the Nigerian Navy, Governor Abiodun said establishing a naval base would leverage Ogun's bitumen deposits and potential oil reserves. Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has fixed 16th of November 2024 for the conduct of local government elections across the 20 local government areas of the state. Chairman of the Electoral Umpire in Ogun State, Babatunde Oshibodu, disclosed this in a stakeholders meeting in Abeokuta and assured of level playing ground for political parties in the polls. Onyinkosola Ojelade has the details.
The stakeholders meeting was called at the instance of Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission's OGSEC as part of preparation ahead of the local government election in Ogun State slated for November 2024. The chairman of OGSEC, Babatunde Oshibodu, represented educate stakeholders on the modalities involved in the forthcoming election and urged political parties to abide by the rules of the game.
I trust that today's meeting will encourage you to begin your efforts to gain political power at the grassroots level. I urge you to adhere to the law and the Electoral Act 2007 as amended. We expect all participating parties to comply with the established rules governing the election.
Chairmen of political parties say they expect nothing short of free, fair electoral process, urging OGSEC to be transparent and unbiased.
Voters' education, which I think is core to the success of this election, so that you will not get to a polling booth on those election day and you are seeing 10 people coming to vote, 15 people coming to vote, and that there will be security are here, and that they are going to protect us. They are going to protect voters, that there will be no harassment and intimidation on election vote.
Because this state, I'm sure, will always observe the spirit of legality and will always respect rules of law.
The body of traditional rulers, our institution stands for everybody across board, all the political parties. I will continue to pray for the sustainability of democracy in Nigeria.
The local government election is scheduled to hold across the 20 local government areas and 256 wards across Ogun State on the 16th of November 2024 in Abeokuta. Onyinkosola Ojelade, NTA News.
We are going on a short break now. I'll be right back after this start. Don't go away.
Arẹ́gòmìnà Ọbaládé, àgbà ọ̀dọ́ àtọmọdé, jákèjádò àti gbèdé. NTA Ìjẹ̀bú Òde. Arẹ́gòmìnà Ọbaládé, àgbà ọ̀dọ́ àtọmọdé, jákèjádò àti gbèdé. NTA Ìjẹ̀bú Òde.
your heritage station. We are the light of nation and the light of generation. Nta Ijebu Ode. Nta Ijebu Ode, your heritage station.
You're welcome back and thanks for being there. The news continues. Osogbo, the Osun State capital, played host to thousands of Osun goddess devotees and tourists from across the world who gathered for the grand finale of the popular Osun Osogbo festival. Correspondent Muyiwa Omonwumi covered the event, and his report is presented in this package.
The symbol of purity and hope into Osun Osogbo Grove signaled the climax of this year's Osun Osogbo festival. Osun State Governor Senator Adebola Adeleke, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Honorable Teslim Igbalaye, reiterated the commitment of government to supporting cultural initiatives that promote the state on a global stage. Dignitaries see the festival as a period to honor the Osun goddess of fertility and also for believers to ask for her blessings.
Osun is a mother of all. She contributes to the foundation of the city of Osogbo. She prevents invaders of Fulani war.
What we do with Osun Osogbo is a settlement of covenant. It's an agreement between the leaders of Osogbo, who are Obas, and the city.
This festival is very, very beautiful, amazing festival.
My DNA, I looked back to my ancestors and it.
Two weeks had activities of rituals, processions, and cultural performances.
There is a certain tribe known around the globe as the indigenous people. They are the custodians of the diverse cultural and biological landscape man has ever known yet. They face marginalization, extreme poverty, and human rights violations. And so, on the day set aside globally to celebrate this group of people, effort is on the protection and preservation of their rights and culture as a global heritage. Charles Alpha reports.
And communities making up approximately 6% of the global population. Of natural resources on which they depend linked to their identities. Land rights, environmental conservation, and social justice rank among the disturbing challenges this group of people face. That is why UNESCO and United Nations General Assembly adopted 9th of August each year as International Day of the World's Indigenous People, also known as World Tribal Day, to celebrate and address issues such as environmental protection, recognize and promote the rights, cultures, contributions, and encourage global understanding and respect for the diverse cultures of the indigenous people. This year's focus of the International Day is on protection of the rights of indigenous people in voluntary isolation and initial contact. Charles Alpha, Nta News.
And on that note, we end today's news. Good night and have a safe weekend.